Hey, Charlie and I just got back from Farm Where You Live. We did an event in Asheville, North Carolina. This was our third Farm Where You Live event, and we had a really good time coming back. In the past, we've gone and we've done our backyard chicken class, and this time we taught a DIY nesting box class, or I should say Charlie taught a DIY nesting box class.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I even had somebody from the audience come on up and help me do it, and then at the end I gave him a nesting box for being a good sport.
Well, I'd like to put together one of the nesting boxes for you here today, but I need help from somebody. I can't hold it all by myself. Do we have a volunteer out there to be willing to help out?
Whoever you want to help out, any of them.
All right,
there
cool.
you go.
Here we go. We got a volunteer. All right, so putting these together, I literally just use the most basic Elmer's wood glue. And the reason why I use this one is it's the first one I grabbed when I went to Lowe's. I'm not picky, I'm not choosy. Perfect. All right, so that's all these items, right? Knocked it out, nesting box.
Not bad.
Here you go. So this is for your first
paint and color?
5 chickens.
Oh,
You got it. You have a light bulb. Congratulations. Oh, wow. Thank you for your help. Thank you. So now you all saw how easy it was, right? Wow.
yeah.
Volunteering to do it, so it was really cool to do that. It was really cool to get involved with the audience, and we strummed up a lot of conversation with it. And one guy was talking about how he's had snakes in his nesting boxes, and another lady had questions about chickens, and they were going back and forth. It was fun. We had a lot of fun. So really looking forward to doing that again for sure. And yeah, it was good.
And I had never been to Asheville before, so we turned it into kind of like a date weekend. We stayed there for 2 nights, and we went out to dinner, and we toured the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, and that was a lot of fun. It was a really cool thing to see. And we also found a really cool Japanese tapas and ramen place that we liked so much. We went back to it twice. The name of the place was Ito Ramen Bar and Japanese Tapas, and it was so good, we can't wait to go back again. So we went Friday night, and then we went back Saturday night. And I personally am super excited to recreate this thing they had there called Sake Tales with our cocktail garden. So I am going to be getting some sake and doing that, but it was a lot of fun. There were all kinds of different vendors there, and we got to buy some really cool things. Like right next to us, Coffee Peace Homestead, and she was selling some really nice salves, so I bought an arnica salve from her. And then our friend Samantha was there with the Urban Homestead Her, and her daughter was selling these suckers called odolollies, which were really cool. So she had all different flavors of those suckers.
Hi. So I'm Kaylin Rutherford, and I am the owner of Golden Faith Bakery. I make different kinds of cookies and brownies, and I hope you expand the menu. But you can find me on Facebook, and I'm here at the Farm Where You Live Festival selling my chocolate chip and pecan brownies and chocolate chip cookies.
And your brother's sneaking in the frame there.
So it's been an absolute beautiful day here in Asheville, North Carolina. We're here at the Farm Where You Live event with a bunch of homesteaders, and it is really cool. And if you look behind me here, we got our friend Dom over here. She's teaching a worm class. Like, they're having an absolute blast. This has just been an absolute amazing experience. A lot of really cool people here. Met a lot of people that are really into the homesteading thing. Seen a lot of classes, and it's pretty cool.
So this clip that I'm about to show you is my friend Dominique from Faith Family Homestead, and it's just a little snippet of her giving her testimony. I'm gonna go ahead and link her channel below because her testimony was amazing, and I know that she's gonna have it uploaded there for you to check out.
So we have lots of processed food, lots of things that would fill us. And although she was from Alabama, and so she knew how to cook, but she was cooking food that I didn't like. So she had lots of gravy and pork chops and peas, and I never liked any of those things. The closest thing that I ever had to a vegetable growing up was canned corn. What the Lord knew that I needed, and He was faithful even when I wasn't faithful. And I just want to encourage you guys that, the Lord's loving even when you're not loving and kind to Him, and that He gives the best gift. My message to people is always about His grace and His love and mercy. And it's my personal opinion that the message of grace gets lost sometimes in salvation. People think that they have to be perfect, and I want to encourage you that I'm definitely not perfect, and I didn't grow up in a perfect life, but I'm here now, and I just want to encourage you that Jesus loves you, and that He's willing to accept you with open arms, and that He'll love you like a father.
I got to interview Joel Salatin, and that was a good time.
Yep.
I asked him a question about our cows. All right, so Joel, we've been doing this homesteading thing for about 2.5 years, and we have just leaped into the next level of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And so we just got a Jersey, and we've had a Jersey now for a week and a half.
Uh-huh.
And she's been with our Dexter bull.
Yeah.
Since we brought her home. So we're figuring we got about 9 months or so until we get that calf. But what would be your recommendation, like lessons learned, the first thing that is new milk owners should do?
Make sure she's got good minerals. Keep the minerals in front of her. I mean, lactating is tough. It's a lot of work, and so keep the minerals in front of her. Good minerals, not cheap minerals. Seaweed and
kelp.
Yeah, and C90 or Redmond salt and the kelp. But really, don't be cheap on the minerals. And then beyond that, make sure that she gets plenty of groceries, plenty of grass, which means you don't want to put her in an acre and leave her there. You want to rotate her every few days to a new spot, so that she's got new forage ahead of her. Right. So she gets ice cream, because all animals eat dessert first.
Right.
So even if you put one animal in 100 acres, they're going to eat the most succulent thing today, and the next one tomorrow, and the next one tomorrow. On a dairy animal, the biggest difference between a dairy animal and a beef animal is a dairy animal puts her fat in the bucket. Mm-hmm. A dairy animal puts their fat on the back. And so a dairy animal, if they get deprived, they don't give you extra milk tomorrow. But a beef animal, you can kind of short them a little bit, and they'll make compensatory gain, once the feed situation changes. But you don't get that luxury with a dairy animal. And so, keeping fresh, good forage out ahead of them is really critical.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate the advice, and we're looking forward to this new adventure with our dairy cattle. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Good seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thank you. You too.
A common question is, a lot of people who have never been to these homestead events are always kind of wondering, is it worth going to the homestead events? And I would say it absolutely is. Now, we're going there as participants and as teachers, and we have a really great time doing that. But if I wasn't going there as a teacher, I would absolutely go as an attendee, because there's just so much knowledge to learn. And it's just a really cool atmosphere. There's a lot of hands-on things that you can do. You get to hear about homesteading from people who are in the beginning stages, the middle stages, and who have been doing it for a really, really long time. You get to hear from some experts, and there's just a lot of really cool things to be able to do. So I'm pretty sure the next Farm Where You Live event is going to be in Fountain in South Carolina in October.
I believe you're correct. Yeah, so I would highly recommend the next Farm Where You Live that you definitely give it a try and go see it. We had a really good time there, so it was a great weekend.